All right, everyone. Today was a very, very big day. We had a lot of stuff come our way, lots of news, but also lots of freebies. And I want to talk a lot about all the things that happened today. Make sure that you guys hopefully get as many of these freebies as you possibly can. But this video is the most urgent one by far because it's only been a couple hours and I'm already seeing horror stories here. Now, we were given a free 150 fail stack today from the Heidel Ball. This is a massive freebie, guys. I know I made a video earlier talking about the free 100 stack that we got, and even though it only looks like it's 50 levels higher, like what's, 50 levels, right? Like the difference between a 150 and a 110 is insane, guys. And I'll give you a rough estimate here. A 150 stack's worth somewhere between 2 and 3 times what a 100 stack is worth. So even though it's only 50 levels higher, it is significantly more valuable. And this is a massive freebie, guys. So you absolutely want to make sure to try to put this to the best use possible. And I've already seen a lot of people, unfortunately, do the opposite. So I wanted to go through today what the best uses are going to be. It's really going to be one in particular that really outshines them all. The bad news with this particular fail stack level is it's a bit more tricky to really use it properly than a 100 stack, because a 100 stack has a lot more options that are like reasonable to good, whereas with this fail stack level, you have one option that is like great, and then you have another option that's kind of okay-ish, but then you have a lot of things that are just really bad that are going to be very difficult for a lot of people to understand unless obviously they do enhancing on the kind of level that I do, where I basically just, do massive enhancing sessions every day, hundreds and hundreds of billions of silver of enhancing a week. Like it's insane. So I want to give you guys the full breakdown here. Now, I will pop up this code. Obviously, this video, I'm recording it when the Heidel Ball happened. It happened today. So if you guys are watching this in the future, the code might not work anymore. That's for the particular 150 fail stack. There's plenty of other codes, and I want to try to put more videos out today about all the free stuff, but this one, it takes priority because the longer I wait for this, the more mistakes I see people making with this fail stack. So I want to really get this out there for you guys as soon as I can so that hopefully you don't have your stack go to waste. So that's the code though. And now let's get into it here. So the 150 fail stack here, let's go over the best possible use, and then I'll talk about the mistakes here and why you really don't want to do those. Now, I will say though, at the end of the day, guys, it's a game. The main goal is to have fun. Like, don't lose any sleep over this. Like, if you've already somehow used your stack and you found out, oh no, I did it on one of the things that you said not to. Like, don't lose too much sleep over it, right? Like, we're trying to have fun at the end of the day. But if you're looking for efficiency, if you're looking to get the most value, if that's kind of one of the ways that you play the game and you want to get the best possible use out of your really big items, and I'll say this is a massive freebie, one of those once a year type of freebies, guys. Don't expect one of these again anytime soon. If you want to get the most out of it, then you're definitely going to want to use it properly. So let's get into the best possible use here, and that is going to be on your just pen boss gear attempts raw. Now, I want to point out that there is a very big difference here between doing it on your pen boss gear attempts raw and your cron attempts. And interestingly enough, and I'm not going to get into the extreme detail, I already did a recording of this where I did, and it's like, oh no, I kind of went on about this in detail for 10 minutes that I didn't need to. Whole topic for another video. But raw, building up the stack, like 150 is huge. It's multiple times more valuable than a 100 stack. Keep in mind as well that it's a 160 stack with Valk's Cry, right? So 160 plus whatever your ruler piece is, that's a decently juicy stack already. It's not crazy yet, but it's a very big head start from 110, which is kind of like the minimum accepted spot to where you can start your pen attempts on. So at that point, you're not really going to get the true value of that fail stack from cronning it. You'll get a little bit of extra value, but it's not going to be the true value of how much that stack is gained by those extra levels. Because the closer and closer you get to like 200, 220, the more valuable your stack gets every single level, because once you get to 200 plus, like, you can really start to consider using those fail stacks for big pen accessories that can make you some very serious profit margins. So, a 150, 10 Valk's Cry, a 160 stack, like, don't cron that. It's too high. It's not worth it. It's not the best use of the stack. I'd say it's towards the bottom of the list. Not the worst, but it's towards the bottom of the list. Raw tapping, way to go. You want to just keep raw tapping your pens. Getting those fail stack levels, unfortunately, it will downgrade. It is expensive. And what you want to do, generally speaking, is keep raw tapping and I would keep going until you get to at a minimum of like 200, 220 or so, right? Like you don't even have to think about stopping until you get there. You're not going to have another option open up to you until you get into like the minimum of low 200s, right? You do not want to use this stack on a pen accessory, guys. I repeat, this is a tragedy that I've seen already. This stack is too low for pen accessories. It's too low, way too low. I know it looks juicy. It's it looks big. It's a lot bigger than the 100 stacks, 50 extra levels. That's not enough for a pen accessory, guys. Now, if you actually take a look at the odds of pen accessories here, you'll see that with a 150 with 10 Valk's Cry, so that's going to be a 160 stack, you're only an 8.5% chance to get a pen accessory. Now, what you're looking for with pen accessories is at the bare minimum, absolute bare minimum, you're looking for 10%, a 1 in 10 chance, and that is literally the bare minimum. That's kind of like the break-even spot, right? You want at least a 1 in 10, and preferably you want a 1 in 9 or a 1 in 8. That's what you want to go for. And if you look at the market and you kind of take a look at the price of pen accessories relative to the TED accessories, you'll see here that if you use like a really, really low, tongue grids are not a great example because those just got flooded earlier today. But if you take a look at TED accessories, you see what these are going for. You look at pen accessories, you see what these are going for. You'll see that 8% chance or whatever, it's not going to be enough to make it a good decision. The stack is too low. I know you might want to YOLO it, but if you're looking to make a good, smart decision and get the most value for your stack, you're going to need to get to the minimum of 200 plus before you start considering even those like less expensive pen accessories. I'm not even talking about Layton's, Ogres, or any of that crazy stuff. Even those, you're still going to want to get into the 200s before you can consider it. So those are some things right there. So the best possible use is going to be raw tapping it. Now, what you do want to do though is when you start raw tapping it, have a game plan. Think to yourself, like, if I do end up getting to 240 or 250, I'll use the stack for pen Blackstar. If I get to 230, I'll use the stack for a pen Valtara. If I get to this level, I'll start using it for that. What you do not want to do is you don't want to just keep tapping until you hit a pen, because that is going to throw away a lot of the value. Once you get to 220 plus, you need to start being very careful, because now that stack is very juicy and very, potentially profitable for pen accessories if you know how to use it properly. And 160 with that Valk's Cry, you're already a good amount of the way there. There's a reasonable chance you're going to get to 220. Like, it's you're still going to hit your pen a lot, but once you get to 220 plus, you should really be focusing more on pen accessory potential, more so than hitting your pen. If that's not the case, if you don't have enough silver, or you're still not at that point in the game, hold on to the stack. Do not keep pushing it. I know it might be tempting, but trust me, you're going to really regret it later on when you get more experience, especially learning about enhancing and accessories. Like, you're really going to regret it. So just hold on to it. If you get to 220, 230, and you do not hit your pen boss gear, trust me when I say you don't want to keep going without knowing exactly what you're doing with it. So now, a couple of other things that you can do. I'll mention the other okay option, and one that I think a lot of people are going to do and not realize that it's not really as great as you might think. I'm okay with this a little tiny bit, but you do not want to keep clicking this. That's going to be your TET Blackstar. Now, if we go and we take a look at the odds of a TET Blackstar here, 110, we're 100 with the 10 Valk's Cry, like the other fail stack that we were given like a month or so ago for free. That stack is not as big, but it does have a lot more options that are like good on the table. This one is a lot trickier. You've got the raw boss gear clicks, which is the best choice by far, and then everything else is either mediocre or just straight up bad. It's a very tricky fail stack level. It is more valuable, but as a newer player, it's going to be very easy to throw away a lot of the value of this fail stack. If you do go for TET Blackstar attempts on this stack, don't really go too much higher. You get 5 fail stack levels per fail. You're already at 160. I would not go past never go past 200 really, but even then, that's too high in my opinion. Like 180, I would even say 170. Like, you could do a couple of clicks, but the thing is, like, if you cannot stop after a couple of attempts, after not getting it, if you don't have that in you to stop it at that point, move to a different stack or move to, just going to boss gear clicks or something else. If you just think you're going to keep clicking on it, then just stay away and use a different stack for Blackstar, because it's only an okay option, like, for a couple of clicks here. As that stack gets closer to 200, that now goes from being an okay-ish option to a really, really bad option. So that's another thing right there. I already talked about Chroning it. Chroning boss gear, not going to be very good with this fail stack level. Now, another absolute literally disaster. Like, now we're going to move to the things that are really bad. And unfortunately, I've seen people do them already. It's only been a couple hours, guys, and people are already using these fail stacks for this kind of stuff here. And the funny thing is, like, you go from a 100 stack, where this is one of the best ways to use a 100 stack, to now those 50 extra levels, it now goes to a complete disaster. And what I'm talking about is your Tet accessories. 150, which is 150 10 Valk Scries for 160, is a catastrophe on a Tet accessory. There's only one Tet accessory in the game where you would ever think about overstacking to something like that, and that's going to be the Tet Deboreka. And if you're going for that, this is probably this video, you're probably not going to be getting much out of this video anyway. So, like, Tet accessories are very tricky, but almost all Tet accessories, you're going to want to go with the exact soft cap of 110. The cheaper ones, you can go a little lower, but you can't really go higher than that. And 110 to 160, remember, those level differences, even though it's only 50 levels, like, that stack is worth like 2 to 3 times what a 110 stack is. So you're just throwing away an insane amount of money by going for a Tet accessory. And the amount of extra chance that you get drops off after 110. 110 is the soft cap, so you get 1/4% before 110, but after 110, it takes 20 levels for you just to get 1 extra percent. You get an 80% penalty. Those fail stack levels become very valuable as well. This is bad news. Do not use this on a Tet accessory. So unfortunately, all the accessory options for this fail stack level, the 150 with 10 Valk Scry, so 160, all the accessory options are really kind of off the table when it comes to efficiency here. It's unfortunate because you had those accessory options on the table for the 100 stack, but you can't really do it with this fail stack here. The Blackstar, which was great with the 110, has now gone from great to, well, if you do it, you got to stop after a couple. Chroning it, you cannot really chron the boss gear either. It's too high for that. The thing is, though, as the fail stack levels get higher and higher, guys, like, this might seem a little bit surprising. It's like, wait a second, isn't this like way better than 100 stack? How come all these things are worse? The higher fail stack get trickier, guys. The higher the fail stack, the more complicated things get, the more money it's worth, and the more careful you have to be with your decisions. So even though, yes, it is, like, there are certain things, like, a lot of the things that you could do that were good with the 110 are no longer going to be good with the 150 or the 160 with Valk's Cry. Don't let that distract you from the fact that this is still 2 to 3 times more valuable if you use it properly. The key is, though, you need to use it properly. And honestly, just do your pen boss gear attempts, do them raw, push that stack up, and, very likely one of 2 things is going to happen. You're going to either hit up your pen, or you're going to end up getting to 220, 230, and now you've got a very juicy, very valuable stack that you can use for things like Blackstar, Pen Blackstar, of course, and you can use them for pen accessories, and it opens up all those really super duper endgame options. So, if you guys are newer, you don't have a lot of silver, do not throw the stack away. Do not click on something dumb like a Tet, boss gear, or not, like, don't do something thinking that it's just 50 extra levels. Those 50 extra levels are more valuable than the first 100 levels. Like, they're very, very valuable. So please, again, if you're going for efficiency, be careful with this. At the end of the day, though, guys, it is a game. Have fun, and don't lose any sleep over this. That's the most important thing that I want to go over. Once again, I mentioned it earlier, but, like, if you did somehow use this already, and you're like, oh no, I did one of the things that you said is probably not great, that's okay. You live, you learn, and at the end of the day, as long as you're having fun, that's what really matters here, because that's hopefully why most people are playing the game. So this was a big freebie, guys. Don't expect another one of these anytime soon as well. So if you've already used it, I hopefully got something decent out of it. Don't expect another one. Probably until next year. There's a lot of other free stuff that we got, guys. I want to put this video out first, though, because this is so important, and I've already seen so many people waste their stack that I want to get this out there before more people waste their stack, and then I can work on other stuff like these other freebies and kind of compiling stuff. I want to make sure that I got it all as well. I might have actually missed one. Here's that code once again. I can't promise that it's going to work by the time that you guys see this video, but hopefully you guys are having a good day. You enjoyed the Calpheon Ball. The freebies were very, very nice. Maybe we'll talk about put those cron stones to good use next. That's another good topic here. We got 1,000 plus cron stones from it, but this one goes out first. So thank you once again for watching, guys. I hope you all have a fantastic rest of your day, evening, whatever time it is, whatever day it is when you guys are watching. If you enjoyed the video, consider dropping a like and a subscribe. More coming up real soon here, hopefully very soon, with how much there is to talk about with the Calpheon Ball that just happened. And I'll see you guys all later. Take care, everyone.